episode is sponsored by Reality Apparel. Reality Apparel is a motivational clothing brand and t-shirts printing store. Get up to 20% off when you use discount code ELF Podcast on their website www.realityapparel.store.
Everyone, welcome to another episode on the ELF podcast. I'm your host for today, Efia Tiwa Obeng, and I have with me an important guest, a very important guest. I came across this guest during our trip to the zoo. I think if you listen to our previous episode, I mentioned it. So today I have with me here Flint Anna. I'll let him introduce himself and tell us more about himself, his personal self. Yes. So hi Flint, welcome to the ELF podcast.
Okay, so let me say hi ELF, right? And thanks for this opportunity. So my name is Flint, as Tiwa rightly said. I'm a family man. First of all, I'm a banker. I work from morning to evening, after which I go for class, so I study in the evenings. And then in the weekends, I try to do some things. I think that's why we are here. I try to do some bottle craft and stuff. And then we met at the zoo, and I'm here today. Yeah. So that's a brief.
I think your life is so interesting, like able to multitask, like from work to study to work. Do you ever rest? I don't know.
No, I don't rest.
You don't rest? I think you need to rest.
Yes.
Yeah. If you don't rest, you might break down someday. But I'm really interested with how you multitask everything and bring everything together. You're like a Superman. Okay. Yeah. So let me tell you how I met Flint.
Okay.
So on my previous episode, we mentioned, my friends and I talked about our trip to the zoo. So we just thought of going to the zoo and we came across Flint. He had displayed these bottle crafts. I don't know, it was so attractive. It attracted us to go and look at what it was. Initially, I didn't know what it was, but when I got closer, I realized they were actually bottles that have been decorated. We'll post the links. We'll add the links to this episode so that you can see what we are talking about. Basically, these are glass bottles, used glass bottles that have been crafted into flower vases and candles, right?
Okay.
If I'm
yes.
So yes, this I was very intrigued. I don't know if that's the word. Yes.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, I think we can have this man on our episode so that he tells us about what he does and why he decided to do this. And we just have a little conversation about sustainability, since that is our main aim at Environmental Leadership Forum. So that's how I came by Flint.
Okay, yes. So I think the question here is what I do, and what motivates me to do what I do.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so for some time now, I've been thinking about, I go around, maybe when I'm driving to work or driving to wherever I go, I see that most of the drinking bars, especially, there are bottles that they put outside. When it close, they just pack it there, and then maybe the refuse collection teams will come and pick them up. So I checked on them and I realized that those bottles are not reusable. So they throw them away in the environment. So I was thinking about how those could affect the environment. You know, they are open bottles. Some of them get broken, so they can contain water and they can breed mosquitoes. They can choke our drains and everything. So I started thinking of what I could do with those bottles. Yes, I go for them for free. Anyway, if I have to do it, they are going to throw it away. So if I ask for it, they will give it to me. So I wanted to give it a try. First of all, just to collect it from them so it doesn't go back to the environment. So I walked to the first drinking spot in my neighborhood where I see they pack a lot of bottles. I spoke with them and then they said, oh, they're in the dustbin if you want to.
You can just take them.
You can just take them if you want to. Yeah, so I went to the dustbin, I put on my gloves. I have some gloves in the car all the time. Put on my gloves, put on my mask. And then I took a plastic bag, and I started.
That's an entrepreneur speaking. He found a problem and took advantage of it, and he's making money out of it while solving the problem. I mean, this is quite impressive. Not everyone would actually humble themselves to that level to actually pick glass bottles from waste to decorate them. So what happens when you take them from the drinking spots?
Okay, so because they are exposed, they are outside, they might be contaminated. Yes, so I take them home, I seclude them from the family, from the living space. I wash them, disinfect them very well. Sometimes I soak them in water for 2 or 3 days.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, I disinfect them, and then I clean them very well, dry them in the sun, and get them ready to be used. So I go online to get inspiration, because whatever you are doing, somebody has ever done it.
Before,
So
exactly.
I go online to get inspiration on how to transform them into art for the basics. So I get maybe paints and spray paints and other materials, and then sometimes I make it my own. Not exactly copy whatever is on. I just get inspiration and make it my own. So I transform these used bottles into flower vases, center office table pieces, or any form of decor you want to. Pencil holders, candle stands. Yes, a lot of things that you can use them for. And I don't just use bottles. I use maybe old glasses you find in your home, maybe drinking glasses you don't have use for it. Even when they are a bit broken, sometimes when the edges are broken, people just throw them away. So we file them very nicely and then put them into a bit of art, and then we give it back to offer.
Oh, that's very, I don't know, I just keep using impressive because that's how I'm feeling right now. Yes. So you see, I think our generation is more focused on plastic waste and all other kinds of waste, but we haven't actually paid attention to how these glass bottles are also waste, and they actually take time to decompose, and people are just dumping it and adding to the total volume of waste. So it's a very good initiative.
I think they take forever to decompose.
Because even plastic takes a longer time. So imagine glass bottles. I mean, So I'm sure this is actually contributing to sustainability. Can you tell us about sustainability? How you understand sustainability?
Okay, so I like the way you ask the question. How I understand sustainability. I would take the word sustainability. So sustain and able. So ability. So let me just make it my way. So our as humans, our ability to sustain the environment, to sustain whatever has been there in existence already, and we've caused a lot of damages to it already, and not cause more damage to it, and how to fix some of the damages we had caused to this. So our ability to sustain whatever
we have in the environment. Exactly. So we are sustaining them so that it will not just benefit our generation,
but the future generation
to come.
For instance, let me just give an example. For instance, when we are developing a lot, so we are cutting down a lot of trees just to build roads and schools and stuff. Infrastructure. But we all know the importance of trees to humans, the oxygen they give, they create a home for wildlife and all those things. But if we destroy it now, what benefit is it going to have for the future generation? We might benefit from the trees that are left, but then the future might not come to meet anything. So we have to find a way of planting more trees and preventing people from cutting down trees and stuff.
Exactly. So how does your understanding of sustainability influence what you do with DecorbyFlint?
Okay. All right. So, we have with the SDGs, right, with the Sustainable Development Goals, we have 17 of them that are...
My next question would be to be about that. Okay. So you can enlighten us on that.
All right. So 17 goals that are cut down in 5 pillars. So we have the people, we have the planet, we have the prosperity, the peace, and then the partnerships. So what I do at DecorbyFlint should be more centered on the planet, and that is how to focus on sustaining whatever it is in the planet and not destroying it. So this is what I can do in my space. I cannot do a lot of the magic, I cannot do the economic and stuff. So the little I can do,
in my space. To the
whole
thing.
bigger sustainable development goals.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you so much. I mean, you are an individual who is promoting sustainability, and I believe if every single individual in Ghana were to contribute to sustainability in their own way, like how you found your own initiative to contribute to sustainability, I'm sure by 2030 we would all actually contribute to achieving the SDG goals. So which of the SDG goals is your business actually addressing?
Okay. First of all, I don't want to call it a business.
Okay.
Because whatever I do, apart from taking the cost of the materials I buy to make the craft, I give out every other thing to charity.
That's impressive.
Yes, I don't want to call it a business because I have a main business that I do. Okay, so, but then back to your question. So we have, I think, the goal 6 that talks about clean water and sanitation.
Yeah.
So these bottles could go into the water bodies and cause pollution.
Exactly.
Okay, so the goal 11 talks about sustainable cities and communities. Yes, so how can we get our cities more sustainable for human development and human living? I think I touched on it earlier in my submission. So I'm concentrating on how we can sustain the cities that we are already living in and making it a better place for us and for the future generation. Yes, and I'm hoping that there'll be a time that everybody will understand these goals very well and will also contribute in their little ways to development. And I'm also thinking about partnerships for the goals. That's the last the 17th, and that's what I'm doing with ELF Ghana. So I'm partnering with you to achieve and educate the public on how to sustain those goals. I'm partnering with like the Kumasi Zoo. Thank you. They gave us the space for free.
Because that's nice.
Yes, just to display that. So they are a wildlife version of the entire Forestry Commission. So they gave us the space for free. So I'm partnering with them as well. And they've offered that anytime we want to display such a thing, we can do that. So I'm partnering with the drinking bars and stuff to also get the bottles and the raw materials.
Exactly.
So I think, so in our own way, this is what I do. That's what I do. Yes.
That's very nice. So, how would you rate Ghana on the sustainability scale?
I was hoping we don't get to this question. It will be difficult to rate an entire country based on what I do in my little corner. So, but I think Ghana is doing their best, partnering with a lot of international bodies, a lot of NGOs, a lot of small groups like what we have here to achieve those goals. So I think Ghana is doing well on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. I should give Ghana a 7 or an 8.
Wow, that's nice.
Yes, with the hope that by the end of 2030 we should all be we should be able to attain all the something.
I mean, if you ask me this question, Ghana as a nation is actually doing a lot, but I feel individuals in the country, there are agencies in Ghana who are contributing a lot to attain the sustainable development goals, but there are still individuals in our communities who don't even know what SDG goals are.
Exactly.
They don't even know what sustainability is. Some people don't know, but they have habits and they do certain things that contribute to it, but they don't even know they are doing it. Yes. So I think education in the communities, especially in the rural areas, should be increased so that people will be aware of what sustainability is about and they can actually contribute to it, because we can't leave it to just the agencies and the government organizations. We all have to come together and partner, as the 17 goals says, so that we can attain it.
Yes, you're right.
I think that is what I've said, how every Ghanaian can actually contribute to sustainability.
And it's not just about what we can do for the environment, every other thing. You share the little food you have, get vaccinated, for instance, and then, just make sure that in your own little corner, you do something that will contribute towards the growth. Don't throw your rubbish. I'm very particular about the environment, so don't throw your rubbish in the environment to destroy the water bodies.
All right, so let's go back to the zoo. So how often do you display your items or your crafts at the zoo? How often?
So when you met me, that was the first time I actually displayed.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first time.
Everything happens for a reason.
For a reason, yes. So I think that was the first day. So we were there for 3 days, and we did not make a lot of sales, but that did not discourage us.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of people who were happy about the idea.
Yeah.
So we got some. Just today, before I met you, somebody sent me about 300 bottles. He said, "Oh, my mother operated a drinking bar all the way from." So I just took it from the Metro Mass this morning. So the person believed in the idea and then shared with us. So the awareness creation is getting on well. And then they've offered a place for us anytime there is a holiday and we have the time. We also run a very busy schedule. We have the time to display. We can come around and display.
So I think the time I met you was a holiday.
It was a holiday.
The Easter holiday.
Yes, it was a holiday.
Today is actually a holiday.
A holiday, yes.
Get a chance to.
Yeah, we are so tired. The family has been doing a lot of traveling and a lot of, my wife's also a caterer.
Yes,
so
I ate her food at the zoo. Let me advertise.
Yes,
let me advertise
right?
wife's food. I mean, when I went to the zoo, I didn't plan on buying anything, but when I saw that, there's this nice setting beside DecorbyFlint, I decided to try it, and it was very nice.
Yes.
So anytime you pass by Kumasi Zoo, when it's a holiday, you should know that you are going to meet Flint and his wife. I mean, their business.
She works at the zoo, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that is so nice. I was very happy.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you're a family man. Your whole family was there. I met your son and your kids, your other daughter too. Oh, that is actually nice. So, I'll leave details of. I think in our previous episode, we discussed how if you want to go to the zoo, things you would require, like your student ID if you're a student, and then 5 cedis. You pay 5 cedis if you're a student, if you have a student ID, exactly. So you can go to the zoo, Kumasi Zoo to be specific.
That's the biggest zoo in Ghana, actually.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can pass by Kumasi Zoo with your 5 cedis if you're a tertiary student, with your student ID. When you go there, you can pass by Flint's crafted bottle craft stand and his wife's food stand. Yes.
Okay.
Then you can also hit him up on Instagram at Flint_Anna,
Exactly.
right? Yes. He's a writer too. You didn't mention that. I remember I saw that on your Instagram page.
Yes, I'm a writer, so I write a lot of short stories. I write a lot of poems. And yes, I write a lot as well.
I don't know. I'm very. Yes, it's a privilege to meet this man. He's a whole package. I don't know.
Yes.
So yes, thank you for coming to our show, Flint. Is there any other thing you would like to tell, or any shout outs you'd love to give?
No, I think this is a good platform. I think students coming together to protect and sustain the environment is laudable, and I commend you and your team for a good work done. I'm hoping that we'll have more partnership. So I just want to mention, if you have old bottles, wine, you go to weddings, don't be shy. After popping the champagne, just keep the bottle for me. Call me, I'll come for it.
Don't worry.
Yes, and any kind of bottle, I'll make it into a craft. And
all right.
yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Flint, for giving us the opportunity to interview you. Yeah, you've enlightened us. I'm very impressed. I'm really glad I came across you.
Yes,
and I know everything actually happens for a reason. And as time goes on, we are going to have lots of partnerships together. DecorbyFlint and Environmental Leadership Forum.
Yes, that would be nice. Yeah.
So thank you for another exciting episode. Thank you for listening to us. And like I promised you, I brought Flint on our podcast. So yes, you can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. And you can follow Flint at Flint_Anna too. You can look at some of his crafts there. I think he's just started, and we can all support this initiative. Thank you for having us here. You can follow us on LinkedIn too at Environmental Leadership Forum. My name is Efia Tiwa Obeng, and I was your host for today. Bye.
Bye.